the second round in the East this year and the Eastern Conference Finals are going to be a lot better than last year because everybody's healthier and the field is just better. And part of that is the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had a historic regular season, but another part of it is the Indiana Pacers, Logan, who are back after their conference finals run last year, and they came out and they sent a message in game one. They take a win in Cleveland. This is without Darius Garland on the floor for the Cavs, who it sounds like is going to be back for game two, probably dealing with that toe sprain. How did Indiana get this done, Logan? And what do you take away from their performance?
I mean, their offense never stopped coming. Tyrese Haliburton gives you 22 points and 13 assists on 69% true shooting. Nembhard gives you 23 points and 6 assists, knocks down 5 threes. Nesmith gives you 17 and 4 threes. And then they also get 41 from Turner, Siakam, and Mathurin. I thought the Cleveland defense got beat a lot in transition and from behind the arc. Indiana outshoots them by 30 from deep. And they just did such a good job of moving so quickly and not letting the Cleveland defense set up or ever get comfortable. And this Indiana offense has a lot to do with constant motion and off-ball movement. Everybody continues moving within the offense. It's really hard to defend. The Pacers offense uses every square inch of the offensive floor, deep twos on the inside, on back cuts. And so they do a really good job of spreading out the defense and making defenders defend in isolation, one-on-one. And they do a good job of dragging the rim protector out away from the rim. I thought they did a good job of that in this one. But, I mean, the Pacers are just really hard to defend. And so I was disappointed from Cleveland in that aspect. Like Mobley and Allen's impact in general, I thought on the defensive end, I thought was minimized by Indiana. Not so much rebounding, but defense. I
thought Mobley was pretty good. Jared Allen got cooked by one Tyrese Haliburton. That's for sure.
I was disappointed in both of them, if I'm being honest. Mobley less than Allen, but I was disappointed in both. But I also thought like you felt Cleveland missing Darius Garland. And for how poor Cleveland shot from behind the arc and for how bad I thought their defensive performance was by their standards, I'm kind of encouraged by this game for Cleveland. The offense was a lot more labored. You got more Ty Jerome, more Sam Merrill. I thought Donovan Mitchell did a really good job of giving you points in bunches because Cleveland desperately needed it. He gives you 33, but he also shoots 1 of 11 from behind the arc. And Cleveland's just got to shoot better. They go 9 of 38. That's where Garland's going to help you. The supplementary ball handling, playmaking, and just shooting. And hopefully Mitchell will have way less of a burden on his shoulders and the offense can just flow. I thought Ty Jerome did a good job in the minutes that he did fill in for. 21 points, 8 assists, but I thought he could have been a little bit better. But I expect Cleveland to be a lot better, basically in all areas. Defense, I think they've got to do a better job of getting back in transition and setting up. I think they need to do a better job of staying active and rotating faster. But I did like the effort in the rebounding that we got. I thought they won the rebound battle, the second chance points battle, and Mobley did a really good job there. But I'm expecting better shooting, better offense, and easier offense in general with the return of Darius Garland. But I really need to see this Cleveland defense bounce back, man. That's probably the biggest area where I was disappointed. Just like letting Cleveland get too many easy points, with like little resistance. I think they can do a better job of hopefully slowing them down because I thought Indiana got a lot of easy looks in this game.
Indiana's also just a great offense, man, and they're a really difficult offense to slow down. I would probably be more critical of Cleveland's offense in this one, but I do think a lot of that has to do with Garland's absence. I want to give props to Indiana for what they did offensively in this one, though, and specifically, I want to give props to one Tyrese Haliburton, Logan. It's a good day for me when Amen Thompson balls out, but the Warriors win, and when Tyrese Haliburton balls out, I'm eating good, man. He was so damn good in this game. He was the best player on the floor, no doubt about it. And specifically where I thought he was so great was in the exact area that I highlighted before this series was going to be key. I expected the Cavs to be very switch heavy, versus the Pacers out of pick and roll because they have two bigs who are quite capable guarding in space. Mobley is great there, but Allen is very solid guarding in space, and they don't want to play drop. They don't want to give those pick and pop looks to Indy's bigs. They're not going to blitz Hallie. He's too good a passer. The Pacers' collective passing and play finishing is too good. So the best option is switch, try to make Hallie beat you as a scorer. He was off as a jump shooter last round. So you say, okay, we'll take our chances with that. But he just torched Jared Allen. He didn't go at Mobley, which is probably a good business decision, but he kept on getting that Allen switch, and he generated 10 points on 6 isolations against him, was able to hunt his step back three and create a ton of space, was able to get to the mid-range, beat him with a nasty step through to kind of put this game on ice. But there were also 2 other times where he blew by him in space, not on isolations, off the catch, and then he scored on a drive. So he was doing a great job of getting past Jared Allen, getting into the paint, being a consistent, impactful, aggressive scorer, which is what they need him to be in this matchup. But then also phenomenal playmaking, 13 assists, 1 turnover, pushed pace for this team so well. That's something that makes Indiana's offense so great. Their ability to generate early offense more consistently than anybody else. And Hallie deserves the most credit for that. He just created so many great looks for his teammates. He took exceptional care of the basketball, offensively sensational, and some huge defensive plays in this one, man. Donovan Mitchell got hot for a stretch, but Hallie clamped him to force a stop in the last few minutes of this game, and then he found Siakam on a leak out. So that was a 4-point swing potentially that was caused by Hallie. He blocked Ty Jerome in the last few minutes. He blocked Max Strus in the last few minutes. So the level that he's been at defensively these last couple games, it's probably the best 2-game stretch of defense I've ever seen from Hallie. He's got 6 blocks and 4 steals in the last 2 games. So he was the best player on the floor. He was hugely impactful, and give him his respect, man. Hallie is the most disrespected player in basketball. Somehow he got voted the most overrated. He is much closer to the most underrated. This guy's just going to keep leading out elite offenses, and he's going to keep leading teams to win playoff series. They made the conference finals last year. They took easy care of the Bucks, and then they beat the 1 seed in game 1 in this one. Like, these are not accomplishments that should be taken lightly. And the box score is never going to appreciate how great he was. But even the box score looks pretty damn good for Hallie in this one. There are some other Pacers, though, who really stepped up and were very good in this game. Andrew Nembhard, man, what a playoff riser this guy has been the last couple years. Lots of just incredible shot making from him in this one, like late shot clock. He made 3 separate tough threes, and he also made another foot on the line too as the shot clock was winding down. So some of these possessions were just, we need you to save us, Andrew, and he did it. And that was really big, the ability to provide some of that late in the shot clock offense. But he also had a nice playmaking game. He's always a good point of attack defender. So when he's shooting like this, when he goes from a 10-point per game guy on 54% true shooting in the regular season to a 16-point per game guy on 67% true shooting, which is what he's been in the playoffs, like, that's massive. He's such a good basketball player. Aaron Nesmith, great as a shooter, active on the glass, really good all-around impact. Miles Turner was really active defensively, and he was pretty efficient offensively. So this was just the Pacers' experience, man. Like, they're going to get so many collective contributions. Their offense can feel unstoppable with their pace when Hallie is at his best, and they have so much collective passing when they're shooting like this, for sure. And this was an outlier shooting performance in both ways, in the good direction for Indiana and in the bad direction for Cleveland. That's obviously not going to be sustained at all, but they're creating great shots, and the ball is moving around at a lightning speed, and their offense is just so explosive. They are really hard to beat if you aren't at your sharpest on both ends. And I just did not think that Cleveland was in this one.
Yeah, and I just think Darius Garland is so important to this team.
Absolutely.
Man. Like, I just think this really speaks to, I noticed a big difference, and I thought that Cleveland's offense still did a good job of generating opportunities. Okoro had some moments in this game with, like, secondary playmaking. Again, like, I really like the, collective shooting and playmaking, but you don't get enough from Strus. Garland just makes everything so much easier. Like, I don't think we can underrate that, man. And I think you're going to notice the Cleveland offense going so much smoother. It's going to look way easier when Garland is
Yeah.
back out there. And like, they're always going to be good when you have as much talent as Cleveland does, right? With a Mobley and with a Mitchell and with a DeAndre Hunter and with an Allen. Like, they're going to be able to generate good looks. Garland is the guy that made this Cleveland offense the best in the league. He's the guy that took them over the top and gave them their ultimate superpower and what they're really special at. And I agree with you, man. I think Cleveland can look way better on both ends of the court. And to be fair, I mean, Indiana went further than them last year. Indiana has more collective experience than this team, top to bottom, like they did this last year. And they have their identity. Cleveland's going to have to match the intensity because Indiana's going to bring it every night, man. This is what Indiana's been doing this for 2 seasons now, man. And I do want to give them some respect. I think I may have, even though I didn't expect Darius to be healthy, I probably, excuse me, even though I expected Darius to be healthy, I probably should have put a little bit more respect on Indiana and said Cavs in 6 at least.
Yeah.
You know, Indiana's not going to go out without a fight, man. And like you said, even in our preview, you mentioned how good of a sweep it was against Boston last year. Like, all of those games were super tight.
And that was without Hallie for half of that series even. So I was surprised when you went Cavs in 5. I went Cavs in 6, and honestly, I was closer to 7 than 5. And if I knew that Garland was going to miss any time, maybe I would have gone 7. I can't say. I was not expecting him to continue to be out with this toe sprain when we did our series predictions. I just thought, like, he already missed games 3 and 4 against Miami. Then he's got a full week off. Like, I thought for a playoff game, he'd be back in time to start this series, but he wasn't. He is supposed to come back for game 2, but his absence is huge in this one. He has been their best offensive player in the clutch this year. And I would argue he's their most consistent offensive player because his playmaking is so reliably elite. Donovan Mitchell is still their best player, in my opinion, but there's more volatility with him because he can have these crazy scoring stretches, but then he also has his stretches where the pull-up 3 is off, where the playmaking isn't what it needs to be, and he can sort of get into that hero ball, very score-first mode. Garland is always going to make the right decisions. He's always going to be super efficient as a jump shooter, getting to his floaters, and he's just a great stabilizing presence. So without him, I thought you noticed a couple of things happen that were costly to the Cavs offense. First of all, big burden on Ty Jerome in this game. And I love Ty Jerome. I have done nothing but praise him this entire year. He still had 21 points and 8 assists, like you mentioned, but I honestly didn't think that he played very well. He got blocked 4 times in this game, man. He kept getting caught.
Why was he bitching so hard too, man? That was the only thing that was making me mad, is he was taking bad shots and then complaining about it.
I totally agree, dude. I mean, he just kept getting caught after that decel step, and he didn't have any separation. He was just getting smothered by bigger defenders and getting blocked on his floaters, which if he can actually get out cleanly, that's an incredible shot for him. But it was really bad. And I'm with you on the complaining defensively or offensively, because then he's not getting back in transition defensively. I did not like the shots that he was getting to. And it wasn't the game they needed from him. There's also a moment where I think it was Neesmith is picking him up with full court ball pressure and forces an 8-second violation. So if he's going to have this sort of burden, they need more out of him. And that's just a lot to ask of a bench guard, even though I think he was the best bench guard in basketball this year. And then the other effect of Garland being out is that I thought we got a Donovan Mitchell hero ball game in this one, where he felt like there was a huge burden on him. And there was a big burden on him, but he puts up 30 shots in this one, and he was phenomenal getting downhill. Like, the Pacers could not keep him away from the rim. But when he shoots 1 of 11 from deep and he's not really getting his teammates involved, he ends up not being efficient, not being super impactful as a playmaker, and not playing the best version of a Donovan Mitchell game. I also thought, like, you just felt everybody had a little more pressure on them to create in this one. Like, Evan Mobley, I thought played a really good game, but he tried to do a little too much on offense. Like, he was great attacking some mismatches decisively. He was really good off the roll. There was a stretch where the Mitchell Mobley pick and roll looked unstoppable, and then they stopped going to it as much, and Mitchell wasn't feeding Mobley off the roll. But Mobley hits a couple threes in this one too. So he did some really good things offensively, but he also had 4 turnovers. And I thought basically all of those were a product of him over dribbling, which I don't think you see as much of with Garland in the offense. And in the last few minutes, there's one possession. The Cavs are down 6. Mobley runs pick and roll with Allen screening for him and steps into like a pretty contested pull up 3. So he just forced the issue much more than usual. I always say that I want Mobley to be aggressive, and I do. There were a couple lines where he crossed the aggression threshold that I would like him to be at, though, and took it a little bit too far. So there were just a number of spots, especially down the stretch of this game, where if I'm the Cavs, I would have wanted to be able to put the ball in Darius Garland's hands, and they couldn't do that in this one. So when he's back, presuming that he's right, like presuming that this toe sprain isn't going to really impact him once he's back on the floor, I think their offense is going to be absolutely cooking. I think it's an even better offense than Indiana's, even though they're both great. And I do think Cleveland has the better defensive personnel too. But when Cleveland has that much creation on the floor and they have as much shooting as they do, they are the hardest offense in basketball to slow down. They were a historic offense this year for a reason, and Garland is a huge part of that.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think Indiana is going to be able to slow Cleveland down as well when they get back. Like I think we could be in for some track meet games, but
100%. I think we're in for one of the most high scoring and most offensively efficient series like in league history. No exaggeration.
By and large, I think over the course of a 7-game series, I trust Cleveland's defense to still disrupt Indiana's more than vice versa, and that's why I'm going to go with Cleveland. And again, statistically, even though these are 2 elite offenses, Cleveland's was the best in the NBA this season, and I'm going to bet on that.
I would agree. There was one coaching decision from Kenny Atkinson that I didn't like in this game. I'm not sure why he started Sam Merrill. Shout out Sam Merrill. He's a very good offensive player, but I thought that especially in his first stint in this game, he was getting targeted defensively and they were having to slant their defense to cover up for him if it's loading up his side with help or if it's scrambling to get him out of a switch. Like, I just didn't understand why they were compromising their defense when they could have a really versatile defensive wing like DeAndre Hunter out there starting, who is also awesome offensively. Like the Cavs have so much depth. They have so much offensive depth. That's part of what makes them special. But if there's anybody whose minutes I thought could go down as you get deeper in the playoffs, it was Sam Merrill. And I get that they're down Garland, so I guess he wants to start a guard and like something of a ball handler, even though that's not Sam Merrill's job. I just didn't understand that. He only played 18 minutes, but I would be going with even more Hunter. I'd probably be playing even more Strus. I'd go to Dean Wade minutes to have that defensive versatility. Not as big of a Sam Merrill guy as Kenny Atkinson is, but I think at full strength, the Cavs have so much depth. They have so much offensive firepower. And then they have the elite star creation. I'm just really excited for the rest of this series. I think we are going to watch such pretty offense if it's the Cavs pick and roll and their shooting and their player and ball movement. The Pacers always are going to play the most selfless team offense that you'll ever see. Both these teams play really fast. Like, it's just really fun. They both have so many good basketball players. That's something I love about this series. Like, there are no tough watches out there. Everybody who's seeing the floor down to the 8th, 9th men, they're good basketball players. So I'm really excited. I think that this is going to go at least 6. I do think the Cavs are better, but I think it's going to be one of the best watches of the playoffs.